Boom. Welcome in, ladies and gents. How are we doing today? New little intro vibe. Do you guys like that song? That's a banger right now. I've been listening to. That's still me out on a Saturday night. No, that's a good vibe for the morning, though. Get you up, get you active, get ready to get shit done for the day. Let's go. All right, welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Sunday conversation here. Obviously, by the name of the show on Sunday, this show is meant to be more of a conversational thing. I don't really want to get up here and spiel you and teach you anything too in depth on a Sunday morning. Nobody wants to wake up and have to, go to school on a Sunday morning. So that's not what this show is supposed to be. It's supposed to be more conversational. So I see the fellas in the chat tapping in. That's the best way to make this show even better. You guys are part of the show. That is the whole point of this one. So welcome in, everyone. But yeah, so Sunday morning, it is 10 o'clock Eastern time here in the United States. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, make sure to subscribe to catch every Sunday conversation moving forward. If you're also watching on YouTube, go to the link in my bio and join the Taylor's Code community. That's where a lot of people in the chat will be coming from. And if you're not involved in the Taylor's Code and you're watching this video, go join up, see our community, see what we're doing, and see why we're putting these videos out for people to learn and people to understand who we are and to want to learn from us, and for us, to just teach people more and more things. So that's what these shows are about, teaching more topics over a broad spectrum of different things, because we're very diverse. We're in tune with everything going on. That's what makes us special, is because we know lots of different things. We're not just professionals in one aspect. We're the ultimate professionals, and that's what we're here to teach. So welcome in, subscribe, join the Taylor's Code. Two major points. The Taylor's Code has been cracking off lately. I don't know if that's because of the socials, people tuning in from these YouTube videos, but people have been flooding into the Taylor's Code community. I don't even know. Someone in the chat, let me know what the Taylor's Code community number is at these days. I know it's north of 250, but it's been on such a rampage these past couple of days. I'm not even sure how many people are in there. So it's crazy how much traction that these videos are getting, and people are joining a community. Love it. This is what we envisioned from the start. So happy that you guys are seeing the vision. Also, you guys can be part of the community. Post in there if you guys have special skill sets that you bring that people might need. I want to just go in and put, you're looking for work, 250 still. Cool. But yeah, go in the community, talk to people that you see who are posting, DM them, ask them questions about what they do, and what kind of resources they have available to teach you what you're looking for. Because everybody's going to be looking for something different. And if you go in there and you just say, oh, I do this and, I'm looking for clients, well, it's not the place to be looking for clients. What we talk about strategies in the Taylor's Code that you could use to get clients, whether that's affiliate marketing, whether that's social media marketing. There's other ways to get clients, but we're not in there for people to post that they are affiliate marketers or whatever, and that they are looking for people to work for them or people to pay them to work. We're trying to teach people to build these skills to build their own businesses and not really spend money on, whatever your side hustle is or whatever. So come in looking to learn and looking to meet people and network. That is how you will get the most out of the opportunity, and not just selling whatever you're trying to get out of it. So that is the Taylor's Code community. Link is in the bio. Get in there and interact in there for free. So a couple of things I have today that I just wanted to touch on super quick. I have a short video on the history of coffee. I watched this video while I was making my coffee this morning, so I wanted to show you guys that, because it's super interesting how something like this could be one of the world's largest commodities that everybody almost drinks on a day-to-day basis. And it has a very rich history of how it came to be and how people use it in business, for caffeine to wake up. And that was a major selling point back in the day when they were trying to make this international, was sell it to businessmen, and they'd be like, your workers will be more productive. So businessmen bought it, gave it to their workers for free, and the rest is history. It's a crazy, one of the largest commodities in the whole world. So that's a fun little video that I was going to share with you guys, and we could talk about that. And then I wanted to touch on the crypto markets this morning, just because things have been kind of stagnant. And I think there's a possibility this week we see some really big action. So I just want to go through, look at the 4 or 5 large tokens and just see where they have been over the past week and where they could go this week. So without further ado, I'm going to tap into the YouTube and we'll watch this quick video on the history of coffee. So let me get that set up for you guys. But in the chat, let me know how many people in here drink coffee. Are you a coffee drinker? Are you like an energy drink drinker? You guys let me know. I know we got some coffee drinkers in here, so I'm not worried about that at all. All right, so here we go. Let's transition into the YouTube video. And let me know if you guys can't hear the video. I think you guys should. I tested the sound this morning, so we should be all good to go. Oh, wait,
One day around 850 CE, a goat herd named...
Without my morning coffee, I'm just like a dried up piece of roast goat.
One day around 850 CE, a goat herd named Caldi observed that after nibbling on some berries, his goats started acting abnormally. Caldi tried them himself, and soon enough, he was just as hyper. This was humanity's first run-in with coffee, or so the story goes. When exactly people began consuming coffee is unclear, but at some point before the 1400s, in what's now Ethiopia, people began foraging for wild coffee in the forest undergrowth. The reason coffee plants are equipped with lots of caffeine might be because it makes them unattractive to herbivores or more attractive to pollinators. But either way, people caught on to coffee's advantages and began making tea from it.
Interesting. So he said that the coffee was there's the caffeine in the berry, so that way that the little animals wouldn't eat it, like probably rodents and rabbits and things that crawl around on the ground wouldn't eat the coffee beans because there's the caffeine. They didn't like that.
Leaves, combining its berries with butter and salt for a sustaining snack, and drying, roasting, and simmering its cherries into an energizing elixir. Coffee rode trade routes into the Middle East, and its widespread popularity began brewing in earnest in the 1450s. Upon returning from a visit to Ethiopia, a Sufi leader recommended that worshippers in Yemen use coffee during ritual chants and dances. Soon enough, people within the Ottoman Empire began roasting and grinding the beans to yield a darker, bolder beverage. Many gathered in guest houses and outside mosques.
That looks like more what we have today as an espresso shot. So it looks like they were starting to get the technique down of how to get the most caffeine out of the bean.
To partake in coffee's comforts. But authorities grew concerned about whether coffee's influence was innocent or intoxicating, and if Muslims should be allowed to drink it. Indeed, in 1511, a religious court in Mecca put coffee on trial. Scholars finally deemed it permissible, so coffee houses sprang up in Damascus, Istanbul, and beyond, where clientele could sip coffee, smoke, and enjoy a variety of entertainment. By the late 1500s,
that's where the boys were buzzing back then. The coffee, got the smoke. It's probably a good time in history.
People in Yemen were farming coffee and exporting it from the port of Al-Maha, which became known in other parts of the world as mocha. But coffee was eventually transported or smuggled into India and soon took root in Java and beyond. Meanwhile, the Ottoman Empire introduced the stimulating substance to Europe. Central London's first coffee houses opened in the 1650s. By 1663, there were more than 80, and despite King Charles II's attempt to ban them in 1675, coffee houses kept simmering as social and intellectual hotbeds.
Yeah, this is what I've heard from back in the day, is that when these coffee houses first started to pop up in the early 1600s, you could see these smart individuals here were getting together, having conversations, and starting to work like that because they were all energized over the coffee, and they created these coffee houses, which we know now as coffee shops. They're all over the world. So it's very fascinating how all this came to be. I can't currently drink coffee, and I have no problems with low energy. It is worth developing a liking to coffee. I mean, it's all subjective to you. If you don't like the taste of coffee, you should maybe try a different coffee. I don't know. But energy levels, it's not that I don't have energy if I don't drink coffee. I do. I have energy because I work out and get up, but it takes you to that another level. It's just something about it. And yeah, I agree. Don't start until you feel like you need it. But for me, having a coffee is like that staple of almost like it's like a breakfast food for me. I like having my coffee and I like having some eggs and I like drinking it with a little bit of breakfast, or even sometimes it is my breakfast. So if I'm gonna go on a fast until 12 or 1 in the afternoon, I need something. I can't just drink water. So the coffee kind of sets me. It's like my breakfast. So I like having it every morning. I have probably 2 to 3 cups a day. That's what I like. And I take in all different types of coffee. So I do like espressos. This is a cold brew out of the bottle. It's a busy cold brew. I get those Publix buy one get one free deals. But if you don't think you need coffee, don't drink it. I don't know what to tell you. Don't drink it.
1979, for instance, patrons of Garraway's Coffee House had the pleasure of watching Robert Hooke, the scientist who coined the term cell, publicly dissect a porpoise. In France, people began mixing coffee with milk and sugar, and throughout the 1700s, Paris's coffee houses hosted enlightenment
So add some flavor. The French added some flavor there.
figures like Diderot and Voltaire, who allegedly drank 50 cups of coffee a day. Granted, these were likely small servings of comparatively weak coffee, but still impressive. Meanwhile, European empires began
Did you say 50 or 60 cups a day?
of comparatively weak coffee,
Oh, but weak
still
coffee.
impressive.
Okay.
Meanwhile, European empires began profiting off coffee growing, establishing enslaved or exploited workforces in Asia, Latin America, and the Caribbean. As cultivation boomed in Latin America, fueled by slavery, growers displaced indigenous populations and burned forests to establish ever-expanding plantations. By 1906, Brazil was exporting over 80% of the world's coffee. That same year, the Milan World's Fair showcased the first commercial espresso machine. And alongside the development of industrial roasting equipment came various coffee brands. By the mid-1950s, about 60% of US factories incorporated coffee breaks. As African countries cut colonial ties, many ramped up coffee production. And coffee drinking also later made inroads in East Asia, especially as canned, pre-prepared beverages. In more recent decades, specialty coffees with an emphasis on quality beans and brewing methods grew popular and propelled farms in Central America and East Africa. Yet coffee workers worldwide continued to endure inhumane conditions and insufficient compensation. This motivated certification efforts for coffee production that met ethical standards, including minimum wage and sustainable farming. But issues still loom over the industry. And because of climate change, the equatorial bean belt, where coffee thrives, is projected to shrink in upcoming decades. It's unclear exactly what this might look like, but scientists are investigating possibilities like resilient coffee hybrids that might help weather the unpredictable future, all to protect the beverage that's become a cherished part of daily rituals worldwide. So why does caffeine have that special effect on us? Find out with this video, or trace the complex globe-spanning journey of your everyday cup of joe with this one.
All right. Well, there you go. Check out those videos if you want to learn more about caffeine. I know we had some questions in there if you should drink coffee, so make your own judgment. But I'd be really upset if coffee beans, like they said at the end there, start going extinct and it's harder to farm. I know in the US we get a lot of our coffee beans from Central America. So Central America is pretty small in area. I don't think the United States of America actually has coffee beans that we produce. I'm not sure about that. You can fact check me on that. But I think a lot of America's coffee beans come from Central and South America, and we get it exported here. But that's it. I hope you guys, like that. That's what I'm trying to do here. Just some fun videos that we could learn some stuff and we could conversate about it. But that's all I had in terms of coffee drinking. So next I want to jump into some crypto stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed the coffee video I did. It's good 5-minute TED Talk videos. I always learn a lot in those TED Talk videos. So you know, go watch those if you have a chance, but I'll get the crypto stuff fired up. And like I said, I think crypto has been sitting stagnant, consolidating over these past 2 weeks, but I think it has so much upside, especially with the US elections coming up. For some reason, the crypto markets always go ballistic around the election time, after the election, and we're just about there. We're on the cusp, and things have been very quiet, which in crypto could be either very good or could be either very bad. So I think it's very good, first of all. So things are getting quiet. Things have been sitting in that range for Bitcoin from 60,000 to 55,000 for a couple of days now. So let me get the screen up here and we could take a look at that together. But hey, if you guys are liking the stream, man, throw a thumbs up, throw a like. This is just the beginning. We've been doing this for over a month now, a month and 7 days maybe. And we're closing in on 600 subscribers here on YouTube. So if you like the channel, if you like what we're doing, throw a like. I don't know why this chat box is so long over here. Let me get rid of that. Still want to see your chats on screen, just not that big. Okay, so here we have it. We got the Bitcoin chart here. So this is, we're looking at it at 1 day here. Let's go to the past month. Go full chart. So in the chat, I want to know how many of you know how to use candles. So how many of you, when you're looking at crypto, use candles as opposed to a line graph? And how many of you actually know what the candle means? So let me go to, okay, so this is the daily. These are the daily candles. So every candle is going to signify 1 day. Duh, obviously, right? So in the chat, this is the best stream yet. Let's go. They're only going to get better from here. So what does, let me spread this out a little bit so we could get a better look. So candles, right? Before we just get into it, what do these candles mean? What do they signify? Because you see these bars and then you see these little sticks at the end. So what does this mean exactly? So let's look at this big green candle here. So this big green candle starts at 58,000, we'll just call it 100. 58,100, right? So what this means is, the dark green candle started right here. And if you see, this candle matches where this candle, is at the top. So what this means is that this candle ended here. So the daily candle ended here and started here. So this candle went all the way up here. And then it went so the thing is, it probably came here, dipped down, and then it came back up. So what it really means is that the candle started here on the day and ended here on the day. Any of these sticks sticking out was just either it went lower or higher than the daily price. So if it started here at 58,100 and dipped below that starting price and it ended below, this would be in red, like this one. So this candle started at 58,100, went up, ended at 64.7, and then it went to the next candle because it was a new day. So it started at 64.7 and it dipped back down into $60,023. So it does signify the change of price, but when you're looking at it, so now let's take a look at it a little less time. So let's look at on a 5-minute scale. So for one, it's going to be a little harder to see, but let me spread out the price. So this is, if you're looking at it on a quicker time frame. So obviously you could see up here 60,000 and it came down 2 quick drops. Now what I think personally is that this will probably retrace back up because you see 2 heavy red candles going there. But I just wanted to do that because I actually had someone reach out to me on creating charts in TradingView. Someone reached out about that. I don't actually do that, but I have watched videos on people who do that. So maybe I'll make a course inside the Taylor's code on creating line graphs and putting in volume and putting in all these different things that you could put into your trading view. So that was just something I wanted to touch on quick, but let's go back to just the markets. And Bitcoin is sitting, so let's take a look at it in the 3 months. So back at the end of August, we were up almost at all-time highs at 68,000. Anything over that 70,000 mark for me is going to be an all-time high because it just hasn't really broken through there as much as we would like. So yeah, like this 70,100, 71,000, 73,000, I guess here. So once you get up into the 70,000s for Bitcoin, you're in that all-time high territory, which it could go rocket ship from there. So where we're at right now is you can see we kind of consolidated down here in this low 50s range earlier in the month, 2 weeks ago, and we slowly have been steadily coming back up, and now we're at 60 this month. So I think it's really going to take off here this next week. I think it could easily get back up to 70,000. So that's Bitcoin. Let's take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum has been kind of, I don't want to say similar because it's not been similar, but it's been diving a lot more. But we have been consolidating. So the same time frame, it looks like it did consolidate down here at 2,200, 2,300. But you could tell by looking at this, Ethereum has been in a steady decline over the past 3 months. But it's always the bigger picture, so I don't like to get too in the weeds of the 1 day or the 1 month. But the 3 month I like, and then obviously the 1 year to see where we're at. So if you were going to buy Ethereum, look at this chart here. It's a good time to buy. It's obviously, it's not where we want it to be. Obviously, I think realistically we could get up to this 3.2 super quick. You could tell here it was down in this 2.9, and it pops super quick. It only takes a couple weeks to gain 10% back where it was. So I think Ethereum is a stronger buy right now than Bitcoin personally, even though I don't love this downward trend here. I figure we do hit a bottom relatively soon, if not already. So I think it's a good buying opportunity for Ethereum. I think it could cross back over the 3,000 mark in the bull run after the election towards the end of the year. No reason why it can't. I don't make the markets. I'm not a whale. I don't have the ability to change the markets. That's just what I think. So not financial advice. But that's my opinion. I think where it's at now, we've seen this consolidation phase down here. It could, in theory, start going back up the other direction. So let me know what you guys think of Bitcoin and Ethereum. But let's take a look at some other ones that I know we like to look at. So let's take a look at Brett. We have a lot of guys in the Taylor's code who are invested in Brett. Brett will be a little bit more erratic and volatile because it's a lower market cap. It's easier to manipulate for the big guys. But let's take a look at the 3 month here. See, it's a lot tougher to look at. So let's do it in 30-minute intervals. Okay. So where are we at? We're right here. Back September 7th, looks like we hit a bottom of around 6 cents, 6.5 cents a share or a coin. And we're steadily on the increase. We're on our way back up with Brett. So I think now is a good time to get back in. It would have been a good time to get in over here, I think. So the end of August, middle of August, August 19th, we took a nice ride back up towards that 1 billion market cap. It looks like it bounced off that 1 billion market cap. People took profits back, and then we came all the way back down here. But I think this is a good sign for buyers and holders. These two right here. So this incredible sell-off, quick sell-off, boom, people bought back in. It rose up. And then the same people that probably sold off again, sold off more. People notice that, boom, they buy, and we're back on the upscale. So I like where bread is at right now as well. If you would have asked me that a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, over here, I probably wouldn't have been as happy with it after this sell-off we had in July, from like all-time highs back down to 6 cents a token. So yeah, we are bullish. So let's see, yesterday. Yeah, yesterday was a great time to get in because look at, and the thing about charts is you got to manipulate it to see the charts how it's actually working, because you could, like, if I do the chart like this, right? If I do the chart where I'm looking at the all-time high to where it is now, I'm not seeing really anything. It really doesn't make sense for me to look at the coin like this because it doesn't, you can't see anything. I'm sure on the stream it's even worse than what I'm seeing, but you can't see anything like this. So what you want to do with your charts is you got to manipulate it to be able to see your range that you're hoping for. So we have someone in the chat say they bought yesterday. So let's take a look at yesterday. Yesterday was right here. It's a perfect time to get in. We're going to consolidate. We're going to rip right back up. But what I mean by you want to change the chart to how you see it, because when I'm thinking about it in my head, I'm only thinking about Brett in terms of the past month. So I'm only going to go back a month. So I don't even know what today's date is, September 15th. We go back in my head to, look at that. It went almost perfectly on the 15th. So that's what I mean when I say put your charts to how you're thinking about it. So in terms of my thinking, anything past a month, I'm kind of blocking out. It really doesn't matter to me anymore. I'm looking about the past month and where we're trending going forward. So you can see this past month, very volatile. We took a steep dip, came down to about 7.5 cents a token, ripped all the way back up to almost $1 billion market cap, and we came all the way back down to almost 600 million. I guess the low was like 650 million. But now we're back on that uptrend. So if you're buying Brett and you got in down here, you're gonna love your position right now. Look at this. This is what you want. And I know guys are in for a lot longer, so maybe me saying I only think about a month doesn't make sense to some people, but in terms of long time holding, anything that I bought a couple months ago and have either unrealized gains or unrealized losses, I have to take a look at that in my metrics, like of what I'm up and down. But in terms of just chart analysis, like I'm not looking to sell any Brett right now, so I don't really care about how much money I'm up or down. I'm just kind of thinking about it in terms of analysis. I'm not going to sell Brett today, so if I was going to sell, obviously I have to see what my cost basis is and to know how much I'm either up, unrealized gain, or unrealized loss. But I'm just talking in terms of chart analysis, not buy or sell. So look at this. This is very promising. You can see, I could add another line here. Boom. We came down, we met at the bottom. And now I could really get an understanding of what happened this month. You don't have to overcomplicate it. If you're looking in terms of 1 month, it's a lot easier to understand and visualize. So if I'm looking at it in terms of 1 month, we started up here around 10 cents a share. We dropped back down to 6.5 cents a share, or coin or token, whatever you want to call it. And now we're back on the incline. So what would you do right here in the chat if you would buy more? Is crypto bubbles a good tool to use to gain an insight into cryptos? Crypto bubbles, I've never used crypto bubbles. I use what we're looking at here now, TradingView. I did a video a couple weeks ago on TradingView, so you could check that out. It gives you news, it gives you different chart analysis that other people do, kind of like a social media network where you could see what people are doing. I'm not very good chart analysis, so I'm not going to publish what I do. So don't take my word for it in terms of chart analysis, but there is people out there that create very nice charts and they publish them so you could kind of get a better understanding. let's go back. I want to take a look at one more chart, and then I'm going to end the stream for today. We're going to look at the Boys Club, the head honcho in terms of market cap. And look at this beauty. This is a beautiful chart here. And here's the thing about crypto, and something that I learned pretty when I was new to crypto, and why I took such a fond liking to it. When I was trading stocks, the volatility of a stock in a month's time frame on a good stock that's going to move a lot is maybe 5 to 10%. And that's a good stock. That's a lot of movement for a stock. But crypto, you can move 5 to 10% in 30 minutes to 3 hours. It's so quick, and the volatility of these coins is life changing. You could get in on some of these runs for a couple months, long-term holds for a year, and make thousands upon thousands of percent return. That's the game. That's the game we play. So again, we're looking at Pepe. Does this look familiar? Does this not look like the Brett chart? Look at this. End of August, looking at that 1 month time frame. Let's do this. Up here, this one is even a little more volatile than the Brett. But look at this. Does this not look familiar? It looks very familiar. It looks just like the Brett chart that we just looked at. So if you guys know about the Boys Club, you know what's going on. So Pepe is, I would say Pepe is probably leading Brett. So whatever Pepe's doing, Brett and the Boys Club is kind of following. It's all following that trend. So you can see at the end of August last year, we took last month, we came down. Beginning of September, boom, we're back on the uptrend. This is great. I think this is a great buying opportunity right here. I'm going to zoom out a little bit more just because I just want to see where this could go in terms of upward trend. So yeah, look at this. Where are we at up here? Ooh, over 5 bill. What is this thing? Needs to get out of my way. This needs to go. So only back to the beginning of August, end of July, we're at over 5 billion market cap. And if we look at our trend right now, we took a hard dip here. But things have been consolidated in this range from this 2.7 billion market cap up to this high of 4. That was kind of a anomaly for 2 days, 3 days, went up, came back down, but it's all been in this range here. And that goes back to what I was saying about this consolidation period where things either go up or they go down. I think personally they're going to go up. We're getting close to this election time, so let's zoom out a little bit further to November. They don't have the dates, but November would be like over here. And I don't think there's any reason why it can't get back up into that 5 billion range. So look at this. Look how quickly the market could change, and you could go from a downtrend like this in May to skyrocketing to all-time highs. So now we've come down since then. The fever of a good market up here kind of sold off, which is good. People want to take their profits. When's the best timing to buy or sell? Buy at the bottom, sell at the top. Yeah, of course. That's a good logic to start on. So Isaac, if you're looking to get into Pepe or Brett that we just talked about, now is a good time to get in my opinion, because look at where things have been over the past 3 months. Things have been a lot higher. So like the Taylor's code said, you want to buy low, sell high. We're at a pretty low point right now. There's not much lower. And this is why I was saying I don't go back further than a couple months or a month, because it really doesn't make sense. The market changed, things change in life. So the market's not as predictable. It's not the same. The market's not the same now as it was 3 months ago. So I think we're on a nice little retrace here. We came down, we're going to come back up. And you can see how quickly things could change. You could go boom, 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 and we could be up over 6 billion market cap. Let's just draw this line out. Look at that. Easy. By the end of October, we could be back over 6 billion in market cap. So that's really all I have for you guys today. I just want to get you in that mindset of looking at charts, analyzing your investments, because no one else is going to do it for you. I come on here and I put on some music and I look at the charts and I just try to understand what's going on in the market. I'm not trying to hit a home run. I'm not trying to, make $1 million in a couple of days. I'm just analyzing the charts and trends of what could be in the future. And that's really all you could do. You're not gonna change your life in one day with this. It takes constant knowledge, analyzing charts, research, learning. This is a new technology. You gotta learn the technology and how it's gonna change the world forever in the future. So understanding the charts, becoming proficient in reading charts, knowing what volume is, getting in when volume is super volatile and high, because that's when you can make the most money. So that's all I have for you guys today. Thanks for everyone who's tuning in. We got 13 viewers in here. That's got to be an all-time high. So appreciate you, everyone who's tuning in. If you're watching now, follow Properly Paid Priamo will be going live at 11 Eastern time. So jump over to his live stream too. That is kind of the community we're building here. Live streams, content, knowledge, and hopefully we get some more content creators that want to step up in the Taylor's Code and want to create knowledge and for things for people, so we could have more of this throughout the week. Tuesday night events, Wednesday night events, Thursday morning, Gentleman's Code events. So we have things going on. If you guys want to get involved, get in the Taylor's Code, start posting, start getting some traction of people that are going to work with you and how you want to go about it. We all have to work together. The Taylor's Code is a community that we're trying to build out. So I appreciate you all. And don't forget, 11 a.m. Properly Paid. So have a good one.